The coronavirus pandemic continues to change the very fabric of modern life.
New coronavirus hotspots are emerging across the country.
The coronavirus crisis has taken another staggering turn for the worse.
There are more than 1.7 million cases of COVID-19 around the world.
The number of cases around the world has now topped 10 million, more than 500,000 deaths.
The Windy City waking up from a night of looting. Crowds clashing with police as hundreds of looters mob the famous Magnificent Mile.
Parts of Minneapolis are unrecognizable to people today, damaged by fire and looting.
After night 6 of these protests, night 7 looking very different.
Enforcement and city leaders put out curfews and closed down streets in an effort to deter violent protests.
At least one person has been shot dead and a number of others injured during a third night of protest.
Well, we're just past the midway point of our hunt. It's day 7, and Wes and I, we decided to split up and go to 2 different areas away from camp just to try to cover more ground and maybe hopefully one of us will at least see one. Because as of right now, we have not seen a single bull moose, let alone a mature one to go after. So we're splitting up, going our separate ways for probably the latter half of the hunt here. So we're going to be alone and on our own here. But I'm actually heading back into what we call Bear Lake. It's We gave it that name for a reason. The first night we were in here, we just kind of walked around and went exploring. And this lake has got bear trails that look like highways, got berries all over the edges of the lake, and bear poop all over. Not to mention that, but there's one patch of woods right off the edge of it that looks like it's just a bear mecca of a bedding area. So needless to say, I left the big camera back at camp, and I've got my bow strapped to my pack, just because if you're headed back into here, you definitely want both hands ready, in the ready position at all times, because it is definitely a little sketchy. It's really thick and really sketchy. So, I don't know. Desperate times call for desperate measures. So here we are, trying to make something happen in the latter half of our hunt here. But I'm starting to get into the thick stuff now. And it's starting to get a little sketchy in here, so I'm going to get off here and be on the lookout for bears. Last thing I want is to encounter a bear of any kind in here, especially a mama bear with cubs. But I'll get off here and at least cover some new ground and maybe run into a moose. We'll see.
I think I speak for all of us when I say that 2020 has been one hell of a year, and one that I think we all want to put behind us. I think that's why we as hunters venture off into the woods as often as we do. We're all just trying to escape the problems of life and find a quiet and remote place to reconnect with nature and the one who made it. Killing the animal is such a small portion of why we hunt. It's the pursuit of the animal that gives us a reason to get outside. And that's when we experience everything else. We were 60 miles away from the nearest road, with extremely limited contact, and no way of knowing what was going on in the world around us. We hadn't seen a single moose for the first 7.5 days, but it's in the midst of pursuing the animal that we forget about all of life's problems. And every once in a while, God even throws us a bone.
I'm pretty sure I just heard Justin shoot. I think he needed to shot a bull moose.
Out of the timber, about 450 yards over there. They started breaking a tree, just going crazy. I was like, he came out right to the edge, and he was just tearing up this tree, just going nuts. And I couldn't believe my eyes. We've been here 6 days, 6 hunting days, 7
hunting days.
This is 7. I didn't even know what a moose looked like anymore. I thought I was dreaming. He kind of swayed back and forth, and he just started cutting the distance. I heard the first shot hit, and he stumbled. He just, poof, down he goes, and his head was he just tipped over. I mean,
let's go get him, dude. We got plenty of daylight. It's good. Oh my gosh.
It was a do-it-yourself moose hunt. I had a bow, and he had a rifle. And for 12 straight days, me and a good friend had completely forgot about all of life's problems. We learned more about each other, we learned even more about ourselves, and we absolutely had the time of our life. None of us have any idea of what lies ahead of us, but I will always continue to be optimistic, because I know as a hunter, I will always have an escape.